Okay.
We're going to start off with what's your name? How old are you? And where are you from?
Yes, my name is Selina. I'm 31 and I'm from Germany. My father is from England, though, but he was stationed in Germany when he was a soldier. So that's why we stayed here.
Okay, great. And how did
Yes.
you become an Elvis fan?
Well, I've actually been an Elvis fan all my life. My dad and his mother are like huge Elvis fans. So I grew up with Elvis in my life all the time. And it was great. So he was always in the background. And yeah, I mean, when I was a teenager, I had like my typical teenage outbursts with everything else, and I do not regret it. But Elvis was always a part of it. Always had a special place right above my bed where I had all of his pictures and posters and stuff. And yeah, and then I think it really started when I was about 14, 15. That's when I realized, okay, I am head over heels for this man. He's like the most perfect thing I've ever seen. I mean, he's so handsome. He is so funny. He's so charismatic. His voice, everything about him. Yeah, and yeah, ever since, everyone's always known me as the Elvis girl.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's even people like still from kindergarten because I've always listened to him, even in kindergarten. They still like text me via Instagram saying, "Oh my God, I saw something about Elvis and I had to think of you." So it's always been a big part of my life.
Yeah. So, what was it like growing up, being like the Elvis girl? I'm sure it wasn't like the most popular thing in school,
No.
being an Elvis fan.
No, it wasn't. It was actually kind of sad, and I always felt like very alone because I was the only person like I knew that liked Elvis, except for like the older people. Sometimes people were being mean about it. They were telling me like, "Oh, you love a fat guy. He's ugly. He died on the toilet," stuff like that. And it always upset me so much because I just never understood why would someone be so mean to like a human being? I mean, he's not there anymore. He can't defend himself. And yeah, it wasn't easy all the time, no. And yeah, I still hate it up until now when like people say, "Oh my God, you like Elvis?" You know, they see my tattoo and say, "You like Elvis?" Well, you know he was a drug addict and he died on the toilet. So yeah, like I'm old enough now to say, yeah, whatever, just move on with your life. But it just upsets me because, yeah, he doesn't deserve it. He's
Yeah.
such a great person and it should be better
Yeah. I mean, he
for
had
him.
24 years of his life, that were like unbelievable and how
Yes.
generous he was and all these things. And like nobody knows about that stuff. Nobody wants to talk about
No,
that. They want to talk about the last
exactly.
2 years of his life.
Yeah. It's sad and yeah. I wish I could change that. I wish everyone could see him through our eyes
Yeah.
because that's what he deserves.
Yeah. But then the movie came out in 2022
Yes.
and he did get a lot more fans out of that. So how did that kind of change your community or just kind of change, the Elvis life you had?
I wouldn't say it changed. I'm just like happy that more people like him now and more people like got to know him through the movie. And I think Elvis had his hand in there a little bit. He chose like the special people
Yeah.
to like join this really great community that we have. And I think especially not just the movie, but Instagram
Mhm.
did this like a while ago. This whole Elvis community, I think I met the first Elvis people via Instagram in 2012 or something. I don't know. So yeah, that's just great. We can like sort of yeah, just be together and love him.
Yeah. So I was flipping through your Instagram and it looks like that you've been to Graceland before. So
Yes.
can you tell me about your first time going?
Oh, my first time going. So, I turned 21 in 2014, and my parents said to me, your birthday present will either be we will pay for your driver's license or we will pay for a trip to America so you can go to Graceland. And I was like, well,
Duh.
Yeah, that's easy. I know what I'm gonna do. So yeah, I obviously chose to go to America. And yes, that's when I met one of my Instagram friends who lives in Atlanta. I flew to Atlanta. We met there, and then we drove to Memphis together, and we spent Elvis Week there in 2014, which was really great. And she actually took a video of me seeing Graceland for the first time,
Oh, nice.
and it's like it is really, really sad. When I see it, I just cry. I mean, it's like happy tears, but it was so emotional because I mean, I had been a fan at that point for like 17 or 18 years, and I just couldn't believe my eyes when I saw it, and it was like the best thing ever.
See it with light. You're here to see it. You ready? It's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. Here it is. You made it all the way here. I made it to Grace.
Yeah.
And I still love it. And then this year in April, we went to Graceland again, but this time I took my husband and my children with me.
Nice.
My children like Elvis because I've been like trying
Yeah.
trying to push them in that direction. My yeah, my son is not into it like a lot, but my daughter loves Elvis, especially as Tulsa in GI Blues because she's watched that film with me, I think, 100 times. So yeah, that was like a full circle moment. All my favorite people at my favorite place. It was great.
So kind of take me back to like walking into his house for the first time, like stepping foot into the house. Like, what was that like?
I think I had a breakdown. Yeah, well, when we got off the bus, I was crying. Oh my God, I think I'm gonna cry now when I think about it.
Yeah, it's
Sorry.
understandable. No, it's understandable. We get it,
I
buddy. We
I
get it.
know.
Yeah.
I was crying, like ugly crying,
Yeah.
right there on the Graceland grounds, and like the security guards were looking at me like, "Is everything okay? Do you need a chair?" And I was like, "No, I just have to cry."
Yeah.
Um, I couldn't believe it.
Hmm.
It was like the sorry.
Oh, you're fine.
It was so unbelievable
Yeah.
to be where he was. And like I know everyone says you can feel his presence,
Yeah.
and that's just the way it is, and I couldn't believe it. So yeah, it was the really the best day ever. I
Yeah.
really, really enjoyed it. I mean, I calmed down after like a few minutes, obviously,
Yeah.
but I mean, it got worse when I went into the meditation garden, and yeah, but it was very, very, very nice.
So, what do you think is the most important thing that non-Elvis fans should know about Elvis?
I think they should know about his generous heart that he has. Um, that he was like so much more than his image.
Hmm.
And people like somehow see him as this caricature, they see the big black hair, they see the sideburns and the flashy outfits, and he's just so much more. And I wish people would just give him a chance to prove what for a wonderful human being he was.
Yeah. I think that's a
Yeah,
great,
they just
that's a great. I love
yeah,
it. So my last question then is, what does being an Elvis fan mean to you today?
everything. It means everything to me. It's a huge, well, it's like the biggest part of my life, apart from my family. Um, it's just, it just brings me so much pleasure. I love listening to his music, watching his movies, and I really do not know where I would stand in my life without Elvis. He's everything.
Yeah.
Seriously, everything to me. Yes,
Well,
thanks,
thank you
Jim.
so much for talking to me today. This has
Yeah,
been
no
a
problem.
beautiful interview and like just your vulnerability and talking about him. You can see how
Thank
special
you.
this to you. So thank you so much for talking to me.
Yes, thank you very much.